And now back for more Hooked on OC.
So awesome day with Captain John on the Fat Cat, and then we get back here to the lodge and we're chilling out and having another awesome dinner here, chilling at the pool at Buena Vista. And Captain Jody comes to us and says, we're going on Perla del Mar tomorrow.
That's right.
Everybody kind of, whoa, man, that's like the star of the fleet.
Yeah.
You know, 37 Bertram, owned by Sir Ronaldo. Romano. I kept calling him Ronaldo all day. Maybe because it just fit his face better. Anyway, his name's Romano. Sir Romano.
Yes.
What a super nice guy.
Incredible
Nice guy.
Yeah.
70 years old. And I knew he was business when we got on the boat, and he had his fighting belt on already before we left the dock.
And his gloves.
Gloves, locked in. Fighting belt was tight. That was good. Got the harness all ready to roll. And we haven't left the dock yet.
When we get a marlin up in the teaser, what we always do is we'll pull that dink bait, depending on the size of the marlin. If it's a 125-pound marlin, we'll try to catch it on a dink bait. But this thing was obviously of the larger persuasion. We pull that dink bait out of the water, and we substitute it with a big mackerel bait that we had prepared on a 50. And a pitch bait. And I did that. I threw it back there. Classic, right off the teaser, came up, ate my bait, and pandemonium in the cockpit. To say the least. You always want to say that everything's calm and whatnot, but although I am fluent in Spanish, these guys can talk at a good rate.
Yeah.
And when there's a black marlin behind the boat, they all talk at a good rate. So we had an Italian guy yelling in Italian.
Code.
we had a couple guys yelling in English. We had 4 guys yelling in Spanish.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there going, I should just follow my instincts, but I was trying to listen to Martial, because you always want to trust your captain. If you're fishing with a captain that you trust, he's got such a better advantage up on that bridge, and he can see everything happening.
Absolutely right. And he wants to catch that fish as badly as you do.
More. Well, not more, but as badly,
yeah. I know what I'm saying. I know who you are.
So I fed it, and I was actually going to feed it for another 20 seconds. And I kept hearing in Spanish, trancalo. Trancalo means stop, break, strike. And I'm thinking to myself, why does he want me to do that? But he knows. Maybe he saw the fish turn. Maybe he saw the bait go into his mouth, whatever.
Yep.
So I did. And I came tight. I thought I had him. I didn't. And I blew my shot. Totally my fault. I should have probably fed it for another 25, 30 seconds or whatever. I know I should have fed it a little bit longer. As it turns out, when I go up to the bridge to do my recap with the captain as to how I missed that fish, we're up there talking, and he starts cracking up. And I said, what's so funny? I just lost a black marlin, dummy.
Yeah.
And he said,
dummy.
I was saying tranquilo. Oops. Tranquilo, which means relax, let him go, let him eat, let him run.
So you guys were on the same page.
Just
a split second miscommunication.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens. So we're sitting up there going over what I did wrong, and that quickly. And this was definitely a different fish. This was a blue marlin. That quickly. Blue marlin on the tuna candy teaser. Probably one of my top 5 blue marlin bites.
It's better all the time.
Top 5 blue marlin bites I've ever seen in my life. This fish went nuts.
I'm a little jammed up about that because I was up at this point. I was out in the cockpit and I forgot my sunglasses and my hat. And the sunglasses, no big deal. But the hat, no sunscreen on this thing I got going on upstairs. No, it would have been a piece of ham steak by the end of the fight. So I went back and got my hat and sunglasses and come back, and he's hooked up, and he is greyhound into the front of the boat.
Ooh, I mean, well, first of all, we couldn't get him off the teaser. He would not come off the teaser.
Tuna candy, man.
We actually had to, it's on a rod. It's on a 50.
Yep.
And you can just reel it up. And, sometimes the sailfish will come and they'll grab it. The mate actually had to go up to the line and grab it by hand because he had engulfed all the way up to the 3rd squid.
No kidding.
And he was pulling. It was a tug of war. And sometimes when that happens, you end up spooking the fish. There was no spooking this fish. He wanted to eat.
He was hungry.
He was ready.
So if he's gulfed up and lost now 3 plastic baits in and out of his gut. And now he still wants more.
Now he still wants more. And not only does he want more, but he wants the other teaser. So the fish Romano's sitting there with
Which
the
is-
50. Once again, came up on the Squid Nation chugger plug, and Romano was sitting there right by the squid chain teaser, and he was ready to feed it. And the fish just swam right by his mackerel bait, went across the transom, and attacked the teaser. So now we have a situation where there's a guy who still has a rod on this side. Shouldn't have had that rod out, but he still had the rod on that side. Romano's got to take, 70-year-old Romano has got to take this 50 and run across the transom, put it right next to the next teaser.
Which he did with no problem.
And this thing just piled on his mackerel.
Man, that was neat.
And he fed it about 20 seconds. And as I was up there, I was laughing, shaking my head, crying. I don't know what I was doing because I kept hearing Marcel go, tranquilo, 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 and I was going, now I can understand it.
Now I hear it.
Sticks just tightens up on it. You don't set the hooks on circle hooks. Just tightens up on it, and next thing you know,
There we go.
We're-
And did he do a great job?
we're on.
70-year-old man fighting this fish. Probably 25 minutes it took us to get him to the boat.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know how close he was to being gone, because as soon as you grab that leader to get him to come to the boat, he's gone.
He was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah. He had a
something
lot of
wore
fight.
out.
Well, he had a lot of fight.
Oh yes, he did.
Had
Yes,
a
he
lot
did.
of fight left in him. Now, just real quick before that, Romano had to sit down on the gunnel because he was getting a little winded.
Yep.
And Marcial looks down and he said, Romano, in Spanish, he said, Romano, if you're a little tired, we really want this fish, you can give up the rod.
You don't know this old man.
You gonna tell a 70-year-old Italian to give up the rod, are you?
Right. You don't know this old man.
He looks at me and he goes, tell my captain I'm embarrassed that he doesn't know this old man. And he just put the screws to him, and we had the fish to the boat in the next 10 minutes after that.
He did a great job, man. Great job.
I grabbed the leader. As I grabbed the leader, the fish made a surge. We got the release on it, popped off, high fives all around, and Marcial's still screaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on at this point. We're all so excited. We're hugging and having a great time. And what happened?
The fish stayed right on the surface. And I'm saying surface as in you can see his dorsal fin and his tail every 5 or 10 seconds. And all he did was swim away from the boat. It was
Stayed
perfectly fine,
Yeah.
but and I'd heard that once in a while they'll kind of just swim away, but then they'll sound. We followed this fish for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I mean, we were backing down on him for 10 minutes straight,
And
trying to get the leader again.
The mates were there with gaffs, trying to wrap the leader up in the gaff so we
Yeah.
could get it up and take some pictures. I've never seen anything like that.
And also cut some more of that leader off, because with it hanging off of him like that, you know,
Right.
you want to try and make it easier on him to get back to his feeding lifestyle and all
Yep.
that. But never did get the leader back. But man, was that neat watching him for 10
That was
minutes.
really cool.
And you even said that Marcial at one point said he'd never seen anything like that before.
Said
He's
never.
been doing this
Never-
for a
never
long
has he
time.
seen that.
A
Yeah.
long time.
So high fives all around.
Yep.
We get the baits put back out. We're obviously in a little bit of a hot spot, marlin hot spot. I hate to toot the old horn there, but left teaser. Here he comes. Here he comes up on the tuna candy squid chain, and sailfish. I feed it. No problems this time. Switches right off of it. Eats my bait. Everything's great. I'm hooked up low and slow. Fish is taking off, going from left to right across the transom, jumping, going nuts, doing backflips. Lands on the line. It lands on the main line, or the other long rigger rubbed against my main line.
Yeah.
Well, something happened.
Either way, ahead of the leader, it's done.
Way-
Get that
yeah,
kind of
way
tension.
up, yeah.
That
So
kind
then
of tension, it's done.
Main line was done. So I lost another fish.
Hey man, it's okay. You're a seasoned pro.
I know how to do
Comes with
this.
the territory. But luckily, I was still asleep, so nobody got to bust your chops.
Right, there you go.
But man, what a tremendous day it turned out to be. At the beginning of the day, we're like, oh my God, what are we doing out here?
Yes.
And then it was like, thank God we came out here, because what an exciting end to the day with that blue marlin.
I treat
Unbelievable.
100 sailfish for one blue
You've said that a couple
marlin.
of times since we've been down here. But yeah, there we go. You know, this show, we put together 2 great days of fishing here. None of them are Guatemala standard numbers, but when you have the kind of stuff that we had, it's so well worth it.
Absolutely.
It's so well worth it. Even you've been down here so many times, you've traveled to places like Brazil,
Venezuela,
Costa Rica. You've never seen some stuff like this. That means a lot to us, because you know our next show is going to be flounder fishing in Watch Creek, Virginia. So this kind of thing is absolutely awesome. But what a great trip, man. You gotta come down here to Buena Vista Sport Fishing Lodge, see Captain Jody. And if you need any advice on it, call us in Sunset Provisions at 410-213-0081. You can check Bill out at sportfishing.com all the time, or squidnation.com.
I missed it.
Hit him there, squidnation.com.
There you go.
Oh man, what a great trip. Thanks a bunch, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.